कृपा सिंधु पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So we are continuing our discussion from fourth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and this is based on Sri Yamunacharya's one book called as Sri Gitartha Sangraha. It's a very short work, only around 20 odd verses are there. I think precisely 32 verses. But in this short work, he has summarized the Bhagavad Gita very nicely. So we are looking at that. And then also we are looking at Sripad Ramanujacharya's commentary on the Bhagavad Gita. Right. So, so once again, we will look at that key verse which Yamunacharya uses to discuss the fourth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the eighth verse of Gita Sangraha. Prasangat swasvabhavuktihi karmano akarmatasya cha veda jnanasya mahatmyam chaturtha dhyaya uchyate. So here Yamunacharya is saying prasang. So he says that there are four parts or four themes in the fourth chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Prasangat swabhavuktihi. Okay. So prasangat, as I said last time, is as a matter of the discussion, during the discussion, swasvabhavuktihi. The Lord described his own nature, how he comes to this world and so on and so forth. So that is the first theme of the fourth chapter. Karmano karma tasya. That means how to see karma as a karma. That means basically how to see jnana in karma yoga itself. Okay, so please remember that fourth chapter is part of the series of karma yoga, right? Because the first 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita are about karma yoga. So here Krishna is talking about how to see jnana yoga in karma yoga. That is the second part of this chapter. Veda jnanasya. Veda means the different types of karma yoga. There are almost 13 types of karma yoga being described in the fourth chapter of Bhagavad Gita. And that is the third section of this particular chapter. And the fourth section is jnanasya mahatmyam. That means the glory of jnana. But this jnana is not of jnana yoga, mind you. This is the jnana which is embedded in karma yoga. Okay, so essentially in this particular chapter, Krishna is asking Arjuna to do karma yoga only, but with jnana, and that jnana has some glories. Okay, so let's be very clear. Krishna is not asking Arjuna to bypass karma yoga or transcend karma yoga and go to jnana yoga. No, Krishna is not doing that. Krishna is asking him to do karma yoga only, but karma yoga done along with jnana attached to it. So beautiful examples are given. We will look at all that very soon. But one example which they give very frequently is that of the game of chess. So they say that just like in a game of chess, one is playing with one's hands, but mainly it is the brain's work, right? So we all know that when someone is playing chess, the hands are moving. So the body is moving, but still mainly chess is considered the game of where the brain is involved a lot. So similarly, this example is given to describe what Krishna is expecting from all of us in this chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Krishna is expecting us to do karma yoga with jnana, just like playing the game of chess, where externally we are completely involved, but at the same time, that entire knowledge is there in the background as to why I am doing what I am doing. Okay, so then it becomes karma yoga with jnana. We'll discuss all that in detail later. So that is what is being, that's the theme of this chapter. Karmano akarmatasya cha. Right. But anyway, currently we are still in the first part, Prasangatsva Swabhavukti. So going to the fourth chapter. So last time, if you remember, we discussed only 3 verses till now of this chapter. And we also said that the link between fourth chapter and the third chapter of Bhagavad Gita is that in the third chapter, Krishna had spoken about Karma Yoga. So Arjuna had some kind of a doubt. What is this new thing Krishna is talking? Hence, Krishna had to say that I have spoken this knowledge to Vivaswan in the past in order to give authenticity to his description of Karma Yoga. Okay, so the Yogam in 4.1 is referring to Karma Yoga because that is a theme under discussion, correct? And that is a theme under discussion. So Krishna is basically saying that I have already given in the past. Then he talks about the importance of parampara. And then Krishna says that the same thing which is there, I'm telling you right now. So all this we saw last time. Now what happens is, so see, till now, please try to understand, the whole theme is still about Karma Yoga only. Krishna has not gone away from Karma Yoga. Krishna described Karma Yoga in 3rd chapter. In the 4th chapter, first 2-3 verses, Krishna is only talking about the fact that he had spoken this to Vivaswan. But now what happens is Arjuna is asking some questions. Okay, because Arjuna is kind of intrigued that, how come our Krishna, he is saying that he spoke this to Vivaswan, but Vivaswan was there long time ago. So Arjuna is asking something about Krishna's appearance in this world. And because of that, Krishna starts speaking from 4.5 to 4.11 as a response to Arjuna's question in 4.4. So please remember, that is why Yamunacharya is saying, Prasangat Swabhavukti. So this whole description of that which Krishna is doing about his own Leela and pastimes, it is a side topic in this entire discussion, right? Because Krishna's main theme is the Karma Yoga which is going on. But since Arjuna is asking a question, Krishna is sidestepping from his theme of discussion, Karma Yoga, and then he's talking about what is called as Avatara Rahasya. So that is the title given to this section. It's a very beautiful title if you think about it. Avatara Rahasya means the secret of why the Lord comes to this world. And there are beautiful benedictions also if you hear Avatara Rahasya. So this is what we will be discussing today. So now going right into the verse 4.4, Arjuna is saying, Aparam bhavato janma param janma vivasvata katameta dvijaniyam tvamado proktavanidhi. So I understand that you are junior to Vivaswan by birth. So how am I to know that you have instructed Vivaswan in the past? So he is asking this particular question. So first thing the commentators here say is that, how come didn't Arjuna know about Krishna? Right? Because in the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, we clearly see that Arjuna says that Asito Devalo Vyasa Swayam Cheva Bhavishyami. Arjuna is saying that, see, Asita, Devala, all these people had spoken to me about your greatness or glories or whatever, and now you yourself are confirming it to me. So obviously, Asita and Devala had spoken to Arjuna much before the Bhagavad Gita was spoken, right? It was, one second, I'll just mute everyone so that. Yeah. So Asita, Devala, all these people, they would have obviously spoken to Arjuna much before he heard Bhagavad Gita. So basically, so then how is it that Arjuna is asking, is having so many questions? So this is the first question that we could get hearing Arjuna's question. So the answer is, certainly Arjuna knew that the Lord is Paramatma, he is Bhagavan, he knew all these things. But there were certain glories of the Lord which he was not clear. And what was that? It was about the Lord's coming to this world, only about that part. Because because Arjuna has this in mind, why is the pure Lord who has nothing to do with this world coming here? Why does he come to this world? So to this aspect of Krishna coming to the world, this is where Arjuna needs some more clarification. Okay. Arjuna would have thought that, did the Lord come without knowing where he's landing? Just that like someone lands accidentally in some place. Is it that the Lord has come like that? Did anybody force him? So these are the kind of questions that were there in Arjuna's mind. So the first thing we need to understand that the Lord is Satya Sankalpa. So currently this is Damodar month. We all know that Lord is Satya Sankalpa. Satya Sankalpa means what? Whatever he desires, immediately that is achieved. So we all know that in the Damodar Leela, which we are observing in this particular month of Kartik Mas, when the Lord desired that he should be bound, he got bound. And as long as he desired that I should not be bound to my mother Yashoda, he was not bound. Okay, so the Lord is Satya Sankalpa. That means, so that Satya Sankalpa means that whatever Sankalpa or determination or decision he makes, that is automatically executed. That is executed by his internal potency. He doesn't really have to do anything. So basically, if he wants better, he gets it automatically. If he wants to be bound, he is bound. If he wants to be unbound, he is unbound also. So the question is, if he wants to kill demons or protect somebody, that is also possible by Satya Sankalpa, isn't it? Okay, so he need not come here. So if he wants to kill Ravana, he can kill him by his desire. Just by desiring, he can kill Ravana. He need not come to this world as Lord Ramachandra and kill. Just by desire alone, he can kill the crocodile which had caught the feet of Gajendra. He need not come. Okay, so these are some questions in Arjuna's mind. Why does he come to this world? Because he's Satya Sankalpa. He can achieve whatever he wants just by sitting in the spiritual world only. Why does he have to literally come down here and do all this? So these are the questions that he's having. Okay, so one Alvar, very beautifully, he says that the point here is that if the Lord would have killed the crocodile, right, just by sitting wherever he is, then how can he prove that he loves his devotees? Because people want to see externally also, right, that Gajendra has been protected by the Lord only, and not that somehow or the other he got protected. So people want to see Krishna in action in this world. People want to see him coming and do. Okay, so that's the point here really. So anyway, so these are the questions in Arjuna's mind. So now beautifully, now what Ramanujacharya does is, he says that Arjuna is having 6 questions which he's asking the Lord. So somebody will say, I cannot see any of the 6 questions. Arjuna is saying only one thing in 4.4 Bhagavad Gita, and then Krishna is answering subsequently. Okay. So how do we understand that Arjuna is having multiple questions? So it's just like, let's say 2 people are talking on the telephone. We all know sometimes, right? You're sitting at home and someone is talking over the phone. You don't hear the other person talking on the phone. So let's say your wife is talking to somebody. You hear your wife saying so many things. You don't know what the other person is saying. But just by understanding what your wife is saying, you can guess what the other person would have asked, because of which your wife is answering all these things. Correct. So similarly, even by hearing Krishna's answers, one can understand that Arjuna had these questions, which Krishna understood because Krishna could see Arjuna's mind. And Krishna is, detailing all these things. So what are the questions? So I'm just putting up the questions here. One second. Let me just change this. Yeah. So if you see here carefully, there are 6 questions which, are, So I'm just putting up the 6 questions which Arjuna is asking in relation to which are being discussed here in this 6. So the first question is the Lord's coming real, or is it an illusion, like a mirage? Is it real or an illusion? So this is the first question. The second question is, does he come with all the glories he has in the spiritual world, or when he comes here, is it curtailed? Are his glories little less than what he would have in the spiritual world of Vaikuntha or Goloka, wherever he's coming from? The third question is, when he comes, does he have a form which is under modes, right? Right? Like all of us, when we come to this world, we come due to, our form is due to the 3 modes of nature. So that is the third question. The fourth question is, what is the karanam for his coming? Now, please understand, karanam means reason. Now, this has to be distinguished between the 6th question. So I'll read the 5th one and then go to 6th, and then we can see 4 and 6 together. The 5th question is, when does he come? Just like, for example, we come to this world when our karma is fructified, right? When our karma has attained a particular level of paripakvata, According to our karma, we come to get a body. So when does he come? Okay. Now, if you look at the sixth question is, what is the prayojana of his coming? Prayojana is purpose. Now, please note, there is a difference between 4 and 6. Karanam and prayojanam are different. Just like for all of us, the karanam, why we come, what is the reason, karanam, for our coming to this world? If you ask, it is our karma. Because of our karma only we are coming. That is our karanam. And when do we come? When the karma is fructified, we come. And what is the purpose of our human life in this world? Well, it is to, go back, right, to attain moksha or to go back to the spiritual world. So, right, so that is our prayojana. So please try to understand, there is a difference between karana and prayojana, correct? Karana is the purpose, the reason, and prayojana is purpose. Okay, so there are these 6 questions which are part of Avatara Rahasya. And as well. What is the bit of? Okay. So now let's go into it one by one. So the first thing, as I said, the first question is, he's asking is his coming to this world real or illusion? Okay. And for that, Krishna is answering that in Bhagavad Gita 4.5. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Bahuni me Vyatitani Janmani Tava Charjuna Tanyaham Veda Sarvani Natvam Veta Parantapa. Right? Krishna is saying that so many lifetimes both you and I have come here. I remember all of them, but you do not. Right? So that is what Krishna is saying. So that means what Krishna is answering here is his coming here is real. It is not an illusion. It's not that there is an illusion created as if the Lord has come to this world, but actually he has not come. Because that's what Arjuna is asking, right? Is your coming to this world real, or it is illusion, a mirage? Is it that you are just fooling everyone to show that you are here, but actually you are not here only? Is it like that? That is what Arjuna had asked. So Krishna is saying, no, I actually come here. Bahuni me, not once. I have come so many times. I have come to this world. Just like you come, even I come. So from that we can understand it. Our coming is real, right? Our coming is not an illusion. I mean, it's not that we are actually somewhere else only and it's just under illusion we are sitting here. No, actually we are currently stuck in this world. So similarly, Krishna is saying that he also actually comes down. So it's real. His coming is real. But of course, one big difference is that with each birth of ours, we fall further. But with each avatara, the Lord's glories only increase. His glory is only increasing every time he comes to this world. So that's a very straightforward answer to the first question. That is actually is coming. The second question that was asked, if you recall, is do you come completely with all your glories, or is there a restriction? That means the question somebody can have is, in the spiritual world, Krishna may have all his opulences, but when he comes to this world also, does he come with all his opulences of the spiritual world, or is there some curtailing? Is it that he's coming with only some of it? Okay, so in verse 4.6, Krishna is answering the next 3 questions of Arjuna, question 2, 3, and 4. Ajopisan avyayatma bhutanam ishwaropisan prakritim swamadishtaya sambhavami atma mayaya. Okay, so this is 4.6. And if you see the translation, see the first line is in the first line, Krishna is saying, although I am unborn and my transcendental body never deteriorates. Okay, so basically Krishna is making it very clear that he comes with all his glories. That means avyayatma. That means he is coming with a form which is not deteriorating at all. That means he's coming just like how he is in the spiritual world, right? With all his glories. It's not that nothing is curtailed. It's not that because he has come to this material world, there is some deterioration. He's just like all of us. We experience hunger, thirst, old age, disease, so many things we experience. But as far as he is concerned, it's not like that. When the Lord comes, nothing deteriorates. So that's the answer to the second question, that do you come with all your glories from the spiritual world, or is there anything curtailed? So we understand that he's coming with all the glories of the spiritual world. And the next question, third question was, are you under the modes when you come to this world? Do you also get influenced by Sattvagun, Rajogun, Tamogun? So Krishna is making it very clear. Prakritim Swamadhisthaya. Prakritim Swamadhisthaya means that although I'm the so 1 second. Prakritim Swamadhisthaya. So we understand from this that he is not, right? He is not under the modes. He is under his own Prakriti. That means he is under his Daivi Prakriti only when he's come here. He is not under the three modes of material nature. And Sambhavami Atma Mayaya. So this is the answer to the fourth question. What was the fourth question? What is the Karanam for your coming to this world? So if you remember, I had said that our Karanam of coming, reason of coming to this world is our karma. So what is his Karanam? Atma Maya. Okay, he is coming because of his own. So here Maya doesn't mean illusion, it means his own Sankalpa Shakti. Okay, his own transcendental opulences. So he's coming because of that. He is not coming, right, like us. So that is also now very clear in 4.6. The fifth question was, when do you come? Okay, so please understand, the question when is different, right? Like we all come when our karma is fructified. When does the Lord come? Okay, so he comes yada. So this is one big difference, right? Because for us there is Kala Niyama. Kala Niyama means we come whenever our karma is fructified and it has achieved a particular level. But as far as the Lord is concerned, he comes whenever there is dharmasya glani. That's what he's saying in this very famous verse. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuktanam adharmasya tatatmanam srijam. He says, I come whenever there is dharmasya glani. Okay, and in this Ramanujacharya very beautifully says that what we understand from this is that dharma, only glani can happen to dharma, but dharma can never be destroyed. Because Krishna is not saying here that I come when dharma is destroyed, because that is not possible only. Dharma is something that is sustaining the world, and dharma has to always be there. Okay, glani means reduction. Okay, glani doesn't mean destruction. Okay, so we understand from this 4.7 that dharma will always continue to be there in this world. And the only thing we have to do is to ensure that we protect dharma, so that dharma protects us. Okay, so just like Sanatana Dharma, if you see, okay, if somebody gives up Sanatana Dharma, doesn't practice Sanatana Dharma, it is that person's loss. Sanatana Dharma itself is not going to be destroyed. So, because that's always going to be there. So that's a very beautiful thing we understand from this verse. The only thing that could happen to Sanatana Dharma is glani, but not destruction. Okay. So as far as we are concerned, we just have to ensure that dharmo rakshitu rakshitaha. It's a very beautiful statement. I'm sure all of you have heard about it. Dharmo rakshitu rakshitaha means when you protect dharma, that dharma protects you. It's so amazing. I mean, any aspect of dharma, if you see, if we ensure that we protect it, we work towards protecting dharma, then because of our protecting it, then that dharma only protects us. It ends up, so in the end, we are only the beneficiary of it. Okay, so here the Lord is saying that he comes when there is glani, when there is reduction. Okay, right? So this is when he comes. And the final question which he asked was, what is the prayojana of your coming? Prayojana means purpose, you can say. So as I said earlier, there is a difference between karana and prayojana. Karana we already discussed. Prayojana. So what is the purpose? So that is saying in this very famous 4.8. Paritranaya sadhuna vinashaya cha dushkritam. Dharma samstharpanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. I come to protect the devotees, annihilate the miscreants, and to re-establish the principles of dharma, and I come again and again. Okay, so there are many interesting things again in this verse which are stated by Ramanujacharya. The first thing he says is, so what is, so the question he raises, so this is how commentaries are done. So they raise a question. They say that, why is protecting devotees and destroying the dushkrita, the demons, why is it said as separate points? Because somebody may say, isn't killing demons like Duryodhana automatically protecting Pandavas? Why should I say two things separately? Why should Krishna say that I come to protect my devotees and also to destroy the demons? Because when you destroy the demons, devotees are automatically protected. Hiranyakashipu is killed, automatically Prahlad is protected. Okay, so here he says, no, it's not like that. Protecting devotees doesn't mean only that killing the demon part. It means the Lord giving himself to the devotees, like embracing the devotee, speaking with the devotee, having loving exchanges with the devotee. All that is part of protection. So protecting the devotee, Paritrana Sadhuna, is a very big basket. It contains so many other things as well. Okay, killing the demons is just one part of it, you could say. Another important thing Ramanujacharya says here is the use of the word cha in this verse. Vinashaya cha dushkritam. By using this syllable cha, what happens is that has secondary purpose. That means vinashaya cha dushkritam is becoming secondary. I mean, the main reason he's coming is paritrana sadhana only. So an example is given. Just like somebody goes to Kanchipuram, the main purpose of going to Kanchipuram is to take darshan of Varadaraj. But because he has gone to Kanchipuram, and Kanchipuram is also famous for silk sari, somebody may even go do some shopping. Just like in Kartik month, most of our devotees go to Vrindavan. We all know that main reason to go to Vrindavan is not going to Loi Bazaar. But everybody goes to Loi Bazaar also. Right? So that becomes cha. Okay. So the main reason why you went to Vrindavan is perhaps to take association of devotees, to do parikrama and so on. That is the main reason why we go. But then since you have anyway gone there, you will also go to Loi Bazaar and do shopping, which everybody does, right? So like that he says, is Vinashaya Dushkritam. It is secondary in purpose. The primary reason is Paritrana Sadhana. And the third part, again, is very beautiful. The third purpose, Dharma Samstharpanarthaya. Dharma Samstharpanarthaya means to re-establish religious principles. So the question he's asking is, why doesn't the Lord simply send Vyasa or some Rishi for it? Dharma Samstharpanarthaya. Why is it that he has to personally come to re-establish the principles of religion? Okay. So can't he just send someone? So the answer is, again, you'll have to look at Paritrana Sadhana. He could have sent someone, but protecting devotees by embracing the devotee and so on, that he only has to come. By sending someone else, Dushkritam can be destroyed, and also Dharma Samstharpana, even for that he could send or empower somebody. But as far as protecting his devotees, showing love towards them, embracing them, having nice talk with them, all this, for this he will have to come himself only. That cannot be delegated to anybody. Okay, but at the same time, the beauty is that when he comes, he always establishes the principles of religion. Okay, Sambhavami Yuga Yuga. And in fact, one of the most beautiful chapters in Krishna book, in the Bhagavatam, is the 70th chapter, which is Krishna's daily activities. It's amazing because you see Krishna doing very routine things daily. So if you see that chapter, right, in our Krishna book, chapter 70, Krishna's daily activities, we hear about how Narad Muni goes to Dwaraka to see what Krishna is doing, how he is interacting with all his devotees. And when Narad Muni goes from house to house, in every house, Krishna is, behaving very ideally as a householder, getting up early in the morning. He's performing the rituals to the sun god, so Surya Devata, okay, by offering oblations of water to Surya, chanting the Gayatri. In fact, the Surya Vandana which Krishna is doing, it's the traditional Sandhya Vandana done by, lakhs of people in India have been doing this since time immemorial. So Krishna daily did that. That's what the Bhagavatam very clearly says. Daily Krishna, when the rising sun was there, he would offer water to the rising sun. And he would offer tarpana to the forefathers who had departed. He would take care of guests, and in some house, because Krishna was living simultaneously with 16,108 wives, each of his children were at different age groups. So the chapter very beautifully discusses how Krishna in one house he would be giving his daughter in marriage, another house he would be receiving a daughter-in-law. So many things he would be doing, and then he would ultimately go out of his home, and all the Krishnas would become one, and he would go to the Sudharma assembly where he would, take part in the daily activities of the court. Okay, so that particular chapter very nicely is discussing this particular point of Dharma Samstharpanarthaya, how he is establishing the principles of religion, how he is establishing all the principles of religion. Now the question is, what is the benefit of knowing this? Now this is the last part of our today's discussion, and it's extremely beautiful. 4.9 Janma karma cha me divyam evam yoveti tatvatah tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti sorjana. Very simple verse. Krishna is saying that anyone who understands my birth and activities in this world, he, after giving up this body, doesn't have to take birth again. So there are many questions raised by Sripad Ramanacharya here. The first thing that's being raised is that, okay, so what is the benefit of knowing Avatara Rahasya? So till now, whatever we discussed is called as Avatara Rahasya. Avatara Rahasya means the secret of the Lord's advent to this world. Okay, so what is the benefit of hearing? The first thing is, hearing this itself is very nice. Okay, so just like an example he gives, like suppose if you meet your child after a very long time, and you ask the question, what is the benefit? Well, it is Swayam Prayojana. Swayam Prayojana means simply meeting your family member after a very long time of separation itself is happiness. It's not that it has to have some other purpose. So similarly, just hearing about Krishna's reasons for why he comes to this world, this itself is pleasurable. And like another example he gives here, suppose somebody has some particular disease, and sometimes an Ayurvedic doctor may prescribe milk as treatment. And milk is amazing to drink, right? I mean, those who have that particular taste to enjoy nice cow milk, fresh cow milk. So that itself is pleasurable. So it's not that, it's a secondary thing that, okay, by drinking that milk, you get well. But the drinking milk itself is a wonderful. So similarly, hearing Avatara Rahasya itself is great. But more importantly, there is another benefit also given here, and that also needs to be discussed. Okay, so the first thing is, we have to understand very clearly that the Lord coming to this world is not like our coming. Okay, so he's giving an example here. Just like Lord's coming can be compared to somebody climbing down the stairs very gracefully. And just imagine there is a king. He's coming down a flight of stairs, and he's coming very gracefully. He's walking down. On the other hand, someone else is there who is just falling, tripping over, and kind of rolling and crashing on the stairs and coming down. So both of them came down only. But one person's coming is very graceful, that is the Lord coming, and the other is like the living entity, who is falling, rolling, crashing, so on. So obviously both are not the same. Okay, so first thing, Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tatvatah. Veti tatvatah means one who understands completely without any doubt. That means whatever we have heard in the last 4 or 5 verses, we have to have understood this perfectly, and we should not have any doubt about it internally. Then only this benefit is applicable. Okay, so that means we are very clear that yes, I accept 100% what is being said here, and I understand also, not that I accept theoretically. I have understood what is being said. Simple things, that the Lord basically, he comes many times to this world. His coming is real. He comes with all his glories from the spiritual world. He comes he's never under the modes of nature when he comes. He comes by his own internal potency, Atma Maya. He's not coming because of karma. He comes whenever there is dharmasya glani, just like we come whenever our karma is fructified. He comes, and the purpose of his coming is to mainly protect the devotees, but also he, as a side activity, annihilates the demons. And of course, dharma samstharpanartha is also quite significant. So these 6 points that we said, if anybody has understood this without any doubt and has actually got it, then so in fact Ramanacharya says that in this particular verse there is this word me, janma karma cha me divya. May in this verse can also mean that even I find it very amazing that I come and do all these things in this world. So, in a sense, that may word indicates Krishna is saying that even he finds it very amazing, his own acts. Okay, so we see this, for example, when Lord Ramachandra was hearing Lava and Kusha speaking Ramayana. That's a very beautiful theme, where Lava and Kush are singing Ramayana, and when they are singing Ramayana, it is said Ramachandra himself is sitting and hearing, and even he is amazed to hear his own story of how he comes to this world and does all this. Okay, so that's the meaning of this word may. Okay, and now let's go to that final part. Now, here, what Krishna is saying is if somebody knows all this perfectly, then he achieves my abode and he doesn't have to take birth again. So Ramanujacharya says that one may get a doubt. Generally, what we all know till now is that one has to do bhakti, correct? Then only one can go back to Godhead. But now it seems that simply by hearing Avatara Rahasya, that means just by hearing the Lord's coming to this world, one can go back to Godhead. This is nice. But the question then is, then what about all this bhakti that people have to do to go back to the spiritual world or to go close to Krishna? You know, there is chanting of the holy names, there is worshipping the deities, there is Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, all the processes, 9 processes of bhakti are there. So somebody may say, Are, that Navavidha Bhakti is so complicated to do and go back to Godhead. This seems very easy. You know, one can just hear Avatara Rahasya, and if one is convinced, then one goes back to Godhead. Kaam khatam, simple ho gaya. Okay, so the answer he says is, we have to be clear that it doesn't cancel that. Certainly one has to do Navavidha Bhakti. But what we can understand in this verse is that if besides doing your bhakti, if you know Avatara Rahasya, then this is going to act as an impetus to send you back to the spiritual world. So that's how he explains it. He says that, okay, so because if somebody, let's say, doing bhakti, let's say someone is chanting the name of the Lord, he does activities of bhakti, but he doesn't know so much about the Lord's coming to this world. There are so many people like that, right? I mean, if you see common people, there are so many people who do bhakti, as in who perform devotional service of different types, but they may not know the details, the secrets of the Lord's coming to this world. So such people, so general bhakti yogi, it is said, he takes many lifetimes to go back to the spiritual world. Okay, we have discussed this. So for that he says that because there are 2 types of karma, one is sanchit karma and prarabdha karma. Sanchit karma, sanchit in Sanskrit, the word itself is very easy. Sanchit means accumulated karma. Prarabdha means which is already started to fructify. Okay, so an example is given, just like somebody has lakhs of money in his bank account. That is like sanchit karma. Okay, suppose somebody has 10 accumulated karma. But suppose somebody has withdrawn 20,000 from that 10 lakhs for his monthly expenses. That is like prarabdha karma. वो आ गया already paisa घर में. Right? That money has already come home right now, and you have started the process of, spending it. So the general idea is that sanchit karma is destroyed, but prarabdha karma is something that's already manifest, etc., and that's not going to get destroyed so easily. So that's why it is said that one has. So sometimes a bhakti yogi may take several lifetimes, to cross all these barriers and go to the spiritual world. He may take several lifetimes to do that because that prarabdha karma may run for some more lifetimes than the current lifetime. So that is why one may immediately not go back. But now this verse comes into picture. But besides doing all the activities of bhakti yogi, if one does this extra activity also, this is also a part of devotional service only, but this is one special part of devotional service. What is this? Knowing about the Lord's coming to this world, Avatara Rahasya. That means besides our practice of bhakti, we have to always ensure that we hear about all these reasons of the Lord's coming to this world. And this is the elaboration in Srimad Bhagavatam, Vishnu Purana and other scriptures, right? Where his incarnations are, the Lord's coming to this world is explained in much greater detail. That means you go into the Avatara Rahasya in greater details. So by doing that, what happens? In this life itself, one can finish off one's business and go back to Godhead. So So the idea here is that this whole section of Avatara Rahasya is going to help a devotee to accelerate the process of going back to the spiritual world. And this is something Krishna is saying here. So why this explanation is given? In order to make it very clear that nothing is cancelled. Because one shouldn't think that just by hearing this one will go. No, Bhakti Yoga you will have to do only. But besides doing your Bhakti Yoga, you will have to specifically hear this if you want to accelerate your going back to the spiritual world. Because that can never be cancelled. And then, the last two verses we'll discuss today, which is again part of this Avatara Rahasya. Vitaraga Bhaya Krodha Manmaya Mam Upashrita Bahavo Jnana Tapasa Puta Mad Bhava Magataha. So Krishna is saying that many people have done it. Okay, so this is again beautiful. Many people have done it. That means understanding about Krishna. So this is considered tapasya. Tapasya means, this is called jnana tapasya. Jnana tapasya means to understand Krishna's advent to this world, to understand all the complexities behind that. The 6 questions that we said, the answer to the 6 only is the elaboration in Srimad Bhagavatam and other scriptures. So that itself is tapasya. And if one does this tapasya of hearing about why the Lord comes to this world, like many others have done in the past, then puta. Puta means one becomes purified. Okay. And in this way, one can achieve one's nature. Krishna is saying, puta mad bhava magata. Bhava means his nature. His nature doesn't mean that you merge into him, but you achieve the spiritual world. So basically, we understand now very clearly that this whole Avatara Rasya is an add-on to Bhakti. It is like an Anga of Bhakti. It's a special Anga of Bhakti, hearing about the Lord's coming to this world. And this whole section somehow has come in the Bhagavad Gita, because again, as I said earlier, Krishna's intention or flow is Karma Yoga. But because Arjuna asked that one question, Aparam Bhavato Janma, all these discussions came into it. The last verse in this particular series is 4.11. Ye yathama prapadyante tam sataiva bhajamyaham mama vartmanu vartante manushya partha sarvashaha. So the first, so till now, Krishna has spoken about his greatness. Now he's talking about how he reciprocates. Okay, so first part of this verse, Krishna says that however a person approaches me, I reciprocate accordingly. Okay, so Ramanujacharya says this verse is not only about Krishna's avatara in the world, but it is also about Archa-avatar. Okay, so please try to understand that till now Krishna was speaking about his coming to this world, right? His coming to this world means like how he came as Lord Ramachandra, how he came as Swayam Krishna himself and all that. But in this verse, Krishna has included, besides all that, is Archa-avatar also. That means he's coming in the form of the deity in the temple. Okay, so Krishna has making it more general, because among all the ways Krishna comes to this world, one way he comes to this world is also in the Archa-murti form. And what he's making it clear is that how you reciprocate with me, I will reward you accordingly. Okay, so the thing. Now, the second part of the verse, Mama Vartmanu Vartante Manushya Partha Sarvasha. If you see the translation, Krishna says here, Prabhupada writes in this, everyone follows my path in all respects, O son of Pritha. Somebody may say, what is the connection between the second line and the first line? Because in the first line, Krishna is saying, I reciprocate. This is understandable because the whole theme now is Avatara. And all Avataras, besides all Avataras, this Archa-murti avatar also. Okay, so that part is okay. But what is the second line? Everybody follows me. So for that, the explanation given is Sarvashaha means in all ways. That means somebody may follow me like a lover, like a parent, like a friend. Because there are many ways in which devotional service is done, right? Different people approach Krishna in a different mood. Okay, most of us, of course, as sadhaka, we approach Krishna as a servant only. Okay, so that is Sarvashaha. Sarvashaha means in different ways people follow me. And then it also means by different senses my devotees follow me. Okay, so like Ambarish Maharaj we hear, by smelling the tulasi, by hearing the kirtan, that means by different senses. That is also Sarvashaha. And Sarvashaha also means by different festivals one follows Krishna. There are so many festivals, right? So now this whole Kartik month is full of festivals. So daily there is a festival, Dhanatrayodashi, Naraka Chaturdashi. So all these festivals. And all these festivals, the purpose of observing all these festivals is to please Krishna. Just like beautiful Naraka Chaturdashi, day after tomorrow. See, again, generally, this Narakasur, when he was dying, he took this benediction. Right? What is the benediction he had asked? Anybody who takes bath on this particular day in the morning, he should get the benefit of taking Ganga Snan. Okay, just imagine this person was dying, but still he took this benediction. That is why Naraka Chaturdashi, we all take early morning bath. So that is considered the most important thing in Naraka Chaturdashi, taking that early morning bath. And that bath, even if we take in our home, in the bucket, using mug, whatever, we get the benefit of Ganga Snan. Okay, so like this, if you see all these festivals, Dhanatrayodashi and Lakshmi Puja and all these things that are there, everything is connected to Krishna, Sarvashaha. Everything, ultimately, there is a connection. So, Mama Vartmanu Vartante Manushya Partha Sarvasha. That means in all different ways, all festivals, through all your senses, all the people are following me only. Which is what is being said in this particular verse. Now, this whole topic is over. This topic means this Swaswabhav, which somehow Krishna started. Okay, so this part is over. And now Krishna will go into the second part, which is now again, we'll go back to Karma Yoga from next time, because that is the theme which is under discussion. Anybody has any questions?
Prabhuji, may I ask something?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay. So you have talked about, people coming to this world and actually, being here in this world. So how do you see when Prabhupada gives the example of a dream, that we are actually going through a dream, and this is just like you see a tiger in the dream. So similarly, you are caught up in the material world. How do you see that?
Yeah, good question. The dream is in the sense of the identification of the Atma with the Sharira, being so that identification itself is the dream part. So it's like this, because the Atma is actually not undergoing any suffering, if you think about it carefully. That is why that example is given. Just like a person who is sleeping and is thinking tiger is killing me, actually there is no tiger. He's thinking that there is a tiger. So similarly, the example there is for that purpose. That Atma in this world is thinking that, oh, I'm suffering like this problem, financial problem, health problem. But all that is due to misidentification with the body. But actually, because he's not this, none of these things are actually real for the Atma. Okay, so that is the purpose and what shall I say, the context of that particular example. Okay, that example is not to say dream as in you're not here only. That means you cannot use that example to say that you're not in the material world only. Okay, you're only in the spiritual world and this whole thing. So no, it's not. No, we are actually here only. We are sitting here.
Yeah.
But because we are originally pure and nothing to do with this matter and the world of Maya, but because of our false identification, we strongly identify and suffer too much. Just like a person who is dreaming and thinking that tiger is attacking him, when actually that's not the case. But for that, he has to realize it. Okay.
Yeah,
and in that example, this point is also true, that the person who is being chased by the tiger, for him it is true only.
Yeah,
right? He is experiencing it. Yeah, he is in misery. Just like the person who is awakened understands that this fellow is simply suffering. So the awakened soul understands that the conditioned soul is unnecessarily suffering. So that is the context of that example. I hope that is.
Yeah, just Prabhuji, another thing, like when 13th chapter also Krishna says that one who realizes or comes to the samatvam level and realizes what is happiness and distress are same. And do you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, so when a person realizes
go ahead.
Happiness and distress are same, at that time he attains Brahman level. So, do we find in pure devotee's life somebody has actually attained this kind of a samatvam level? We do not read in the life of devotees that they actually consider happiness and distress completely equal, and no suffering is causing any kind of titillation in the minds.
See, one thing is, honestly, these experiences that Krishna talks about, these are individually perceived by people. I think it's very difficult for us to say that no one experiences it, because you're not in the shoe of someone who is actually like that, right? I mean, why pure devotee? In fact, that platform that you're saying of Samatvam, this is considered a more lower level of platform, where even even some person who understands how to deal with this world and who it, and by virtue of that, see suffering and happiness as equal. So, right, that's not even necessarily such a high stage, and as far as a pure devotee is concerned, certainly, but I would say that we are not in their shoes, so we really don't know how they are perceiving it. Okay, so, but from the Shastra, we can understand that yes, it's possible.
Yeah, but the higher level should accompany, should contain the lower. Yes. So if somebody has risen higher, so lower level should be automatically be visible out and out.
100%, 100%. It should be.
So-
It should be there.
So do we have examples like that? I mean, just doesn't matter if somebody kills me, just doesn't matter if somebody praises me. Do we see such examples?
No, of course, the Bhagavatam is full of such examples, whether it is Prahlad Maharaj or whatever. It's all about that only, right? Ambarish Maharaj, all these characters we see in Bhagavatam are all like this only, what you're saying. Okay. Now, as far as the world itself is concerned, yeah, Jada Bharat, so many. I mean, all characters in the Bhagavatam are living examples of all that, what you're saying. Now, as far as the world itself is concerned, I think that, if you look at the life of devotees, characteristics which they have exhibited. It's not that we don't. Correct. But my point is, it's better not to judge like that, because only that person who's undergoing that, only in his heart, actually only Paramatma knows whether he's really equipoised or not. What I'm trying to say is that these qualities of the Bhagavad Gita, some of them are very internal quality, which is not very easy for a third person to understand. So we can only see in Shastra, or Paramatma could see that yes, this person is truly equipoised. But otherwise, in our ordinary interactions with people, we may not be able to judge that so easily. That's my limited point here. Is that okay?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Haribol. Any other last question? Okay, thank you everyone, and hope everyone has a nice Diwali festival with your family, friends, and everyone next 2 3 days. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita.